times and noodle salad.
I haven't had lunch yet. That reminds me. I haven't had lunch. That's okay. I don't need lunch. Well, who needs lunch? Man, I've got an extra 80 pounds of fat I could feed off of here. I don't need lunch. All I need is a good cigar and some good rum.
I believe that's all anyone needs.
Really, it is. I'm sure, or maybe if you're a Scotch and soda man, nice cigar, Scotch and soda. Or if you're a wine person, wine, yeah, nice red wine, cigar.
Never got on with Scotch. I like tequila and rum.
Yeah. Well, wait. No. You're not a gin and tonic man?
Gin and tonic? No.
Oh. Man, I thought all Brits were raised on gin and tonic. I thought they put gin and tonic in baby bottles, and fed it to their little children.
I'm actually an ale man, primarily when I'm drinking. I'm one of those people that.
Oh yeah. There you go, right there. Now you can't get more British than that.
Yeah, I hate to live up to the stereotype, but
yeah.
That's the way she goes.
That's just the way it is sometimes, Oh, gosh.
Alrighty then. So you ready?
Yeah, sure. Why not? What the hell?
Why not, indeed. So, good evening. Welcome to this week's edition of the Squatchable podcast, where we take a few stories from Bigfoot news from the week and just have a good old discuss of them. Joining me from Parabreakdown, Phil Pulling. Phil, how are you?
I'm doing quite well, thank you.
Nice. And if you enjoy Parabreakdown, you may enjoy the badly drawn misadventures of two Bigfoot. Head on over to Facebook and look up Bigfooting with Keith N Collin, where this week I'm quite in love with my ninja. So I'm going to be riding that train pretty heavily this week. The ninja character.
Keith N Collin in the ninth dimension.
Yes. We all liked the ninth dimension. Colin was wearing wacky glasses. They were quite wacky. And so, without further ado, I am your host, Richard Allen, and let's just get into it. Our first story is a conference.
Surprise!
Spokane Valley, Washington, Sasquatch Roundup.
It's Spokane.
Spokane,
yeah.
Saturday, August the 31st, 2019. That's this year, so plenty of time. It's $25 at the door, or you can advance purchase, or you can purchase a VIP ticket for dinner and a show for $65 or $75 at the door. I kind of want to pay that just to see what the show is. I'm not gonna lie. Presentations by Amy Boo, Adam Davies, Larry Baxter, and Cindy Bueno Goodbreak. I only know who one of them is, so there's another reason to go here.
It might be a huge surprise.
I mean, we all know who Larry Baxter is, but who is this Adam Davies?
Adam Davies.
Never heard of him.
But yeah.
So yeah.
Why don't they say what the show is? Are they just going to put up a projector screen and show Boggy Creek again? That's probably what it is.
Or Harry and the Hendersons.
Yeah, or that.
Either way, either one. Boggy Creek or Harry and the Hendersons are basically our best Bigfoot documentaries. And if that isn't a sad indictment of Bigfoot research, I don't know what is. But the Roundup is a one-day event in which Sasquatch researchers and Bigfoot enthusiasts from around the country will gather to share their latest research, evidence, and sightings of the elusive Bigfoot. Neat.
Groovy.
So that is Spokane.
Yep.
Valley, Washington, Sasquatch Roundup. It's the second annual, so this happened last year as well. Did you go to that, Phil? You live in that area?
No, that's Eastern Washington. I live in Western Central.
Big state. So.
It is a state of confusion.
All right, so that's that. Moving on to some quality Bigfoot news now, ladies and gentlemen. I refer, of course, to Tim Fasano. Tim, we love you. We just don't ever stop, mate. Don't ever stop. We've got this 7-minute video. It starts with 6 years ago. Tim Fasano called out some hoaxers, and they called him a hoaxer, and history has exonerated him. And I was hooked. I was hooked at that point. I was like, out of all the people that Tim's called a hoaxer, who could have possibly have exonerated him? And then, of course, the video begins, and it's a Ketchum study. And Tim, I really hate to burst your bubble, mate, but pretty much everyone called that for what it was.
Yeah, he was basically just jumping on the bandwagon,
Towards the end, I mean, admittedly, at first, there were some people that had hopes. But towards the end, we all knew what that was.
The best thing to come out of that study was the song Wake Up Matilda. You've heard Wake Up Matilda, right? Matilda was the name of the... that was
Yes, the famous video of the Bigfoot, which couldn't have looked more like a Wookiee if it had been cut from a Star Wars movie.
Of course, the first one just looked like a bear rug with somebody under.
Yeah. They should have quit while they're ahead. While they had the sleeping Sasquatch, you couldn't say for absolute certainty.
We had experts actually doing like color definitions and doing all kinds of crap to it. Here's an IR filter version, and oh my god. Oh my god.
And then of course the second video came out, and that was clearly a Wookiee, and we were all this again. Great.
A Wookiee named Matilda. By the way,
Wookiee.
Go ahead and search YouTube for Wake Up Matilda, and you'll actually hear the song. And the song includes Melba Ketchum, and all that. So it's a lot of fun. It's a great song.
Great stuff. But yes, Tim called out the Ketchum study 6 years ago. He did several videos about it. This is the video he's uploaded this week. Is the interview he did for Enigmatic Anomalies, which was a cable show that he guest starred on for a while. I couldn't watch it because I think it was exclusive to Florida. What's that called? Because I know that they have that in America, where each states have like channels that they have like public broadcasting stations. A lot of them are national when it comes to news, off the AP, what they call the AP wire, things of that nature. But they do have things like local shows and other such things. They have local TV networks in and around certain areas. So and it could like cover like 3 or 4 counties, or all of one state and part of another. We have that here, part of Washington and Idaho. There's one news network that just concentrates on that area. So yeah, it's all kind of divvied up. The U.S. is kind of a big area. I have heard that
we can't just cover everything that's happening with BBC 1 through 6. We just can't do that.
We have a BBC Scotland and a BBC Wales.
Oh, you guys really have come a long way.
Yeah, we've branched out. I don't think even the Welsh people watch BBC Wales, though. Not racist, just telling it how it is.
How it is.
All right, our next story is this one. Right.
Oh boy, here we go.
This is Todd Standing. I went on to so let me give you a bit of background here. So I went on to the Bigfoot Hoaxers Facebook page earlier in the week, and there were these 2 pictures uploaded where apparently Todd Standing the claim being made was that Todd Standing was being charged with sexual assault and uttering threats of death. And this was, so I was like, whoa, well, this is pretty big Bigfoot news. So I sent it to Phil, who is much better at investigating this stuff than I am, former police officer, knows his onions. And Phil, what did you learn?
Well, where's there? Do you still have a copy of the first two, the ones you sent me?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think this was the civil claim filed by.
Yeah, that's a civil claim. Uno momento.
Okay, yeah, the original ones that you sent to me, and then I went and researched.
Yeah,
there was two separate cases according to what has been shown. One was a case of sexual assault,
and uttering threats.
And then the second case was a harassment or threatening with fear of death. Two separate criminal cases against Todd. Where was it? Rockwood Standing. And Rockwell, excuse me. I can't really see the screen that well. And the interesting thing about this is whoever, and I'm calling it fake, and whoever came up with this knows Todd Standing enough to know that his original video company was under the name of Todd Rockwell. He wanted to separate that from his Bigfoot investigations. And then when he started making those Bigfoot videos, he went under Todd Standing. So it's actually the same person. So when these came up as Todd Rockwell Standing, people says, my God, this is legit. He's been arrested. He's been charged with sexual assault and utterance, two different occasions, utterance of physical threat and all that crap. So what I did is I went to the BC offices, the court reviews and outlines and so forth. And you have public access to this, the British Columbia Attorney General's site. I know I'm stuttering here a little bit. I want to make sure I'm getting things straight. But I actually loaded up the case number on these criminal codes here. Each one of them has a file number at the top. And the file number is 100, was it 10040?
Yeah, I've got them on the screen now.
Yeah. And the other one is like 10010. So I went in there and I typed in the file number to look under, put Todd Standing's name in there. And the only thing that came up is the one that you showed first of all, which was Todd Standing. Here it is, 10011 is what it was. That showed Todd Standing's original filing against the Fish and Wildlife to recognize Bigfoot as an endangered creature. So I'm thinking, well, why in the heck would the civil have exactly the same file number as a criminal? So I come to the conclusion that that these two documents were forgeries or fakes. I did not put them through a program to see if I could detect any Photoshop things going on there, nor did I even check the data on it. I just wanted to get the source of the matter, and that's what I came up with. So I'm saying that these are fakes. I don't know who put it out. Another thing that made me suspicious was it was anonymous. No one knows where these came from. No one knows who went there, who got these, who's passing them around. But knowing Todd Standing the way I do, knowing all the crap that he's pulled in the past for publicity, one of them being the lawsuit, the other one being, oh my God, call the authorities, he's lost in the woods. Remember that? And
it was a really good episode of that show, to be fair. I mean, he fought a bear and all sorts.
He ran from a grizzly bear. He outran a grizzly bear that has a top speed of like 30 miles an hour. He outran
a grizzly bear after he got past the Bigfoot.
Yeah, that he spotted that didn't spot him. So to be skeptical about Todd Standing, anything Todd Standing does is normal. That's all I'm going to say is normal. So here we have this. And I'm thinking, I would not, because he's not dumb. He knows how to do this. He knows the game.
Right.
I mean, he's played it long enough. All I'm saying is, what's the possibility of Todd Standing actually creating these fake documents, anonymously planting them to get the limelight again, to be put on the front page, so to speak, and wait for somebody to send this to some publication of some sort. Only, somebody that has deep pockets that he himself can sue for defamation. Because everything about him is about cash and promotion. It'd be like front page stuff.
Yeah, especially the sexual assault thing. I mean, getting falsely accused of that's big grounds for a slander.
Yeah.
And even libel. So,
and nobody likes him in the first place. So what difference does it make? If he can make cash off the thing and prove it's wrong, it's a double slam dunk for him. So I'm not saying he did. I'm saying, what's the possibility of him coming up with this whole idea himself?
Right. So just for the sake of clarity, we're saying 100% that these documents are fake. In no way do we believe that Todd Standing's actually been charged with either of these crimes. We're just saying that there might be a possibility that he's done it himself.
Yeah, or somebody who really hates his guts.
Or somebody who hates his guts. Equally possible in the Bigfoot community.
Possible, has an axe to grind, aside from myself. Here's the weird thing. There's no love lost between Todd Standing and myself. Everybody knows that. Everyone knows he does not like me. Everyone knows I do not like him. And yet here I am, defending him?
Well, you're saying that this is a load of crap. So, you're defending him.
But he might be the one doing it. So now we're back. Anyway.
It's like a backhanded compliment when you think about it. We don't think this is genuine, but we're not eliminating the fact that he might have done it himself.
I guess in a nutshell, there's no evidence at all that Todd Standing is a sexual predator, regardless of what Todd Standing says.
Jesus. Right. Okay. Let's get away from this before we get ourselves in trouble.
We might already be in trouble.
We might already be in trouble. Oh, well, then just have fun of it. Have fun with it. Our next story comes from you, Phil. Creature screams in winter. 2-minute video. I haven't yet figured out how to upload videos to this. I've been trying.
I don't know if you can.
Every time I've tried it keeps blurring, getting really blurry, and not actually playing. I can't hear sound.
It's because it's a platform for streaming. It's a platform for live broadcasts. Now, if you can actually put it on your desktop and play it while we're doing the broadcast, it might do that. It might come up. Like actually play it on your laptop right now. But I don't know.
Right. I've never got sound to work with it. I've got the video to kind of work, but I've never got sound.
Oh.
And for this video, sound is all the video is.
It's key.
It's key. You didn't dismiss this right away as a normal animal. You said it didn't sound like any normal animal. And then, so I gave it a listen, and I got to be honest, it sounds damn freaky. There's a lot of echoing going on, and it's coming from a distance. So it's being, what's the word? Where sound
distorted.
Changes.
It's distorted. But just because it has echo and it's reverberating off the distant hillside, there's still some issues here. First of all, it's quite loud. It's very loud. Most times, if you hear something that far in the distance where it's echoing off the hillsides, I don't think it's going to be a bear. I know that elk can trumpet very loudly, and it's carried for miles. But this is obviously not an elk. It's obviously not a deer. I'm telling you, it's definitely not a bear. And so it kind of leaves us to wonder, and it does not sound canine to me. It doesn't have that wolf. Coyotes are way too high in the frequency spectrum, but wolves, no, it's not a wolf. No, I cannot pinpoint what this is, and it changes.
It does change.
To me, that's also a key point, because if you're looking at the animals that I've mentioned, if they're just doing calls, it's a continual type of thing, and it doesn't change.
Yeah.
You can tell, unless something is, I would say, injured, which brought me to the possible conclusion it could be like an injured elk, for example, that's screaming instead of a mating call or something. That's screaming. I've never heard an elk scream. Doesn't mean they don't when they're injured, and that kind of leaves that door kind of partially cracked open there for what it might be. But that's as far as I got.
The only thing I've ever heard in my life that compares to that is a mountain lion giving birth. You ever heard a sound of recording of that?
No, I don't think so.
I'll find you a video and send it to you, but they make some weird noises when they're giving birth.
Wow, maybe that's it. Maybe you've hit on the solution.
I'm not saying for sure, obviously. Okay. I'm just saying.
All right, fine. I don't care. It's a cool video, and it's spooky as hell.
Yeah.
That's why I like it.
Yeah, very spooky.
It's really spooky.
Defo. All right, so moving on from Phil to another one of our favorite breaker downers.
Bigfoot Tony?
Bigfoot Tony, yeah. Appear to have lost the graphic. Good start. Okay, so we have a 10-minute video about pareidolia. It's called Think Before You Claim, and I thought it was going to be Bigfoot Tony, doing another video similar to the Squatchmaster video he did. But no, it's just 10 minutes of pareidolia with him text explaining what each picture is. It's pretty fun to watch. There's a couple ones that got me, like he posted a picture of a broken car that looks like a beach. It took me ages. It took me ages to see it as a car.
Right.
I had to pause it. I was like, "Is that a car? Has he gone mad?"
Yeah, it was great because the beach was actually the pavement.
Yeah.
The shoreline was the rust on the bottom of the door. That looks like shoreline and waves coming over it. And then the door panel above it looked like the ocean. So when you first look at it, yeah, it's exactly what it looks like, the beach. And there was a bunch of them in there that I loved, especially the Bigfoot ones, where it shows the Bigfoot face sticking out of the ground. It was nothing but roots. The only thing about it is he included so many. It kind of got boring after a while when some of them were just like face in the clouds and all this, and it was a full 10 minutes long. It was 10 minutes long.
It was like about 8 minutes too long. He could have made the point in like 2 minutes, but the broken car one got me really bad. Cool. That was cool.
So I went ahead and I did copy the video. I think I'll use some of those stills in some future videos of mine. Just the photos.
Yeah.
So I have to thank him for providing those to me so that I can actually so I could steal them and put them in one of my videos.
Have you ever had any contact with Bigfoot Tony?
No, never have. He's never tried to contact me. I've had a lot of weird people try to contact me, but not Bigfoot.
Yes.
Not Bigfoot Tony.
Well, you put yourself out there, you get some weird people message you.
I expect it. That's part of
when I was blogging, I had some weirdos. Let me tell you.
Well, it's just the way it goes.
It's the way it goes. All right, so our final story, Squatchable has I might as well close that since all the graphics have gone. But Squatchables come through for us, finally, with another one of their lovely sighting reports, which I absolutely adore. I mean, I have mentioned this before. But unfortunately, it's spelled pretty well. So I'll begin. I've related this story only to a very few people over the years for fear of ridicule by my peers, and doubt that anyone would ever really believe me. Anyway, in May 1982, while serving on active duty at Camp Pendleton, California, I was temporarily assigned to a staff of Marines supervising a youth program consisting of a rigorous series of 2-week-long mini boot camps for teenage boys. Camp Pendleton is flanked by the Pacific on its western flank and by the Cleveland National Forests on its northeastern flank. 3 different mountain ranges intersect the base itself, and I am very familiar with every nook and cranny on its over 200,000 acres of mountain ridges, ravines, canyons, trails, back roads, and the like. Anyway, on one particularly calm night, after a long, grueling day of forced marches, displays and demonstrations, we took all 300 boys up to bivouac site for the night. The site is situated on a large open meadow shelf above the infantry training school at San Onofre 52 area. The boys were exhausted, yet eagerly setting up their shelter halves. They began to get a little too loud, so I began to quiet them and bed them down for the night. The rest of the staff was situated about 35 meters away, up a little knoll that overlooked the boys. However, I wasn't aware that the staff had already bedded down and that I was the last one still up, except for the radio watch, which was half asleep too. It had become dark, with the exception of a bit of starlight, which gave me a very good range of vision. Finally, I succeeded in getting the kids in a sack and quiet. I then stood for a few moments to ensure all was secure and that not one peep could be heard and none could be. As I turned facing west and looked towards the closest edge of the perimeter, I noticed a tall, dark, bulky figure standing about 15 meters beyond the last 10 to 20 meters from where I stood. We seemed to be staring at each other, but it's hard to say because I could not make out any of its facial definition. But I had a strong gut feeling that it was checking me out real good, since I was the only thing moving around. I could feel my heart began to pound and my entire body felt like it wanted to anchor to the ground. There was no doubt someone or something very odd and dangerous was standing there looking at me. I mean, this thing was tall and wide at the shoulders. I used my peripheral vision to make sure I wasn't seeing things, but it only confirmed what I already knew. It gently and slightly moved its upper body left and right ever so slowly, as though it was moving to its front, surveying the area. I decided to go get a flashlight out of the vehicle at the top of the knoll and let staff know what was going on, so I began cautiously and quietly step backwards to prevent whatever it was from charging or coming into the bivouac. I continued to keep an eye on the dang thing, which just remained in the same spot. Almost halfway up the knoll, I lost sight of it, but I continued to move slowly, still trying to locate it. I walked back to the tents, scanned the area with the flashlight, but didn't see anything like I had before. The figure had obviously moved, so instead of waking anybody up, I sat up for a while and waited to see what and if anything would happen. I also hoped the damn thing wouldn't pop up behind me. It would have been worse and maybe a calamity if I had pushed the panic button and had woken everyone up. After all, we were in charge of nearly 300 young street kids without any formal training out in the open. In the morning, just before daybreak, I beelined for the spot where I saw the thing standing. There wasn't anything standing there. Not a pole, a bush, a tree, a reed. I mean, nothing that could have simulated what I had seen. We were situated on a flat, clear, open ground, with the exception of a knoll and a tree line about 50 to 60 meters away, and a mountain behind that which I knew all existed and had seen backdropped way beyond the figure the previous evening. The ground was grassy, but was already pretty well matted down and rooted by the constant foot and vehicle movement in that particular training area. I know I saw something that wasn't normal. I know it wasn't a hoax. I know it wasn't the kids. I trust my judgment, and now I'm 46 years old and still have perfect vision. I know it wasn't any of the staff because I'd seen all of them sleeping when I got up the hill. At that time, I had nearly 11 years of military service to know how to use my eyes in the dark, and we know the difference between a bush and a moving object. This was big and real. Oh, and the thing was very quiet. I didn't hear it make a sound. So there we are. Another sighting report. I do enjoy them.
Good. That's a good one. Oh, man. I was riveted at the end of my seat. I love those things.
I do like them. The military ones are the best.
I like especially how he shows that how he kind of moves his eyes to the side to catch his peripheral vision. If you look at an object at night straight on, that seems to be like a center blind spot, but if you move it to the side, you'll actually see movement. I don't know if anyone's ever brought that up, but yeah, it's a good point.
Yeah.
I've used it myself in police work at night. So just one of those things.
Just one of them things. All right, so that's that. Nice little sighting report. Phil, you got any cool breakdowns coming up this week?
I came across one, and then I found out I'd already done it. So it's short-term memory loss. I've already done the video. It was I came across one that actually somebody else was doing a breakdown of, and I'm like, wait a minute, and then I went ahead and searched for the original title and found out, yeah, I already did it. So yeah, I'm looking for something. It seems for some odd reason that I might have to go UFO route because not too many Bigfoot things are happening right now for some odd reason.
It's the off season.
I guess so. People are out camping and not reporting what they're doing or seeing. So, but yeah, I'm sure someone will pop up any hour, any minute now. That's what I say.
Nice. Chris will be doing the Fortean Slip tomorrow night. I don't know what they'll be doing. They'll be doing something. And there'll be lots of Keith N Collin cartoons coming out next week. So we will return next week, as always, Saturday night with some more Bigfoot news. I've gotten around the whole EU problems, so who won that in the end? And so we will return. Good night from me, and good night from Phil. And good night.
Good night.